So yeah, I started the sales agency. I just turned 20 years old and I was just in the whole space of sales for the first time. I was a waiter or reselling or doing something like that, but I don't count that as proper sales. I count that as just communicating with people, but not really knowing how to sell. And yeah, after getting into sales, everything changed for me, definitely, because it was the first time I had to properly work to make money, because everything else was just a side hustle I was my own boss at. So I could decide how much time I'm going to put in, how much money I'm going to put in. And same with being a waiter or working a 9 to 5 in total. It was always, something where I could just lay back. I could just sit down, be on my phone and still make money. And when starting sales, it was the first time that switched up completely, because it was something new for me. I wasn't talented at it or pretty good from the start on. I was just keen to learn. I was just hungry. I was really just so frustrated that I wasn't rich yet at like 19 or 20 years old. And that's how I just got started into it. And I had to just put in hours and hours of work. I was in a 9 to 5 at that time, and I still had to somehow put the work in. So I was probably working from like 5 or 6 a.m. until like 4 p.m. And when I got home, I took a 1 hour break. I went to the gym quickly, didn't even shower, and then started calling the first like outbound cold calling leads, and did that from like 5 or 6 p.m. to like 10 p.m. And then I ate my like first meal. And sometimes even while being in the 9 to 5, I started cold calling just to make some money on the side. So all in all, it was just really stressful for me. That stress was really worth it, because it showed me the reality of what it meant to make money online, what it meant to build a business, what it meant to actually become a person that doesn't just talk about success, but actually gets a grasp of it with every day. And yeah, that's when everything probably changed. I started with appointment setting and like cold calling, and from there on I worked my way up, just gone from appointment setting up to then jumping into the first closing calls. After doing closing, I did more rather high ticket closing, and that's just everything how it went. And that time span was over multiple months. So I was pretty quick with showing off my skills in setting. I had like 2 months in appointment setting, and then I became a closer. And after those 2 months, when starting to become a full-time closer after that, I dropped my 9 to 5 because I was making like constant 5 to 6k a month. And then after that, it all got a bit rough, because there was a few months where money just started to become short, because I just relaxed too much. Because I thought, okay, if I had 4 hours before and that's how I made 5 to 6k, why should I be putting more work in now? And that's when life just kicked me in the ass and showed me that I have to put in more work. It can't just be 90% of the power that I have. It always has to be 100%. It can't just be there 50% of the time. You have to be there 100% of the time, and with 100% of focus and being 100% yourself. And that's what I mean also when I say, okay, when you're out with friends, when you're out with your family, when you're out with your partner, when you're working, whatever you do, be there, but be there 100%. And as a business owner, I know it's hard to not be on the phone and work while going out to eat, for example. But that's something your partner will understand as well, because you're probably the one bringing the money to the table. So the person in front of you shouldn't be mad at you for just providing even more. But in every other situation, let's say it's your mom's birthday, it's your aunt's birthday, I don't know, your cousin was just born, then put the phone down and be there 100%. So after that quick interruption, back to the topic. Yeah, so as I just said, you have to be 100% of the time. So what's important about it is, if you're appointment setters, if you're a closer, if you're a chat setter, it doesn't matter. If you're the business owner, you could also be the sales manager. It really doesn't matter what position you are. It just matters how intrigued you are in doing your work, how motivated you are, and how motivating you are to other people. Because if you're the guy or if you're the person in total that is just annoyed of what they do, you're going to annoy the people around you as well. But if you love the things you do, if you do it motivated, if you do it even if you're pissed off but still seem motivated, the people will love to work with you. And that's what changed everything for me when starting in sales, because it didn't matter how I felt, it just mattered how much much money I could make, and that just switched everything. And from there on, it was just about keeping up the grind and not stopping. And after some time, I got the position as a sales manager, and that's where I noticed where my true potential lies. And it was never just being in sales, but actually explaining to other people how to do it and helping them understand how to manage that. Because a lot of people, they are sales reps for years and years and years, and they make some good money. I don't want to say that they're making bad money, but they will always be in the same position, make the same money, because they were not meant to scale something. They were just meant to be the person they are right now. And that's everything they can do. That's everything in their capacity. But I noticed for myself that I have more to learn. I have more to achieve. I have more capacities that I can use to effectively make more money without putting in more time. And that's how the position as a sales manager worked out for me. And that's where I made my first big money as well. Because of course, as a sales rep, I was making 10, 15, maybe 20K a month. But that for me was also important because in my view, you should never start something different or start a second side hustle if your first side hustle is not already making 10, 15K. Because if you're not making like 15K constantly and make that scalable at the end, then you're not making any good money. And if you're doing two things at the same time, trust me, the first side hustle is going to bleed because of that. It's going to just rot and die out, and it's not going to make you any good money after all. And one major personality trait that got me to that position was just being annoying. And you could ask anyone around me, you can ask my business partner, he will tell you I was the most annoying person 24/7 because I was just talking about scaling, I was just talking about making more money, I was talking about every possibility on how to make more out of the situation that we have right now. And that was the point where he came up to me and asked me to work together on a project with him that gave me the chance to even become who I am today and give me the chance to make the money I make today. Because without that, I would have never gotten into that position. If I would have been the quiet one that just thought of people thinking about me, or was just hoping for people to think about me because I do my work well enough or good enough, then I would have never succeeded in such a business part. But because I was annoying, because I was so delusional, without any experience, to still go up to people and give them tips, give them help, just tell them I want to help them with work, even though I don't get paid for it, and just be as motivated as possible about everything, that made me the candidate to even be considered for something like this. And there's often people that go out there in the world and they have nothing for themselves. They talk about wanting to make more money, but are not ready to sacrifice time, money, whatever it is. And they just go out there and expect for someone to tell them, okay, I'll give you 10K if you do this and this for me. There's no one out there that's going to do this unless you're a master at what you do. And because you're not, you need to prove yourself somehow. You'll need to be the annoying person that just jumps in somewhere and shows a person of value that you have something that could be valuable to them. Let it be time, let it be knowledge, let it be motivation, goals, whatever it is, information. And those people are going to come back to you because you're worth something to them. You have a certain value that will help them scale their business even more. But if you're the person that just expects for people to pay you up front, you're not going to get anywhere. I can tell you that, because 99% of the people just go out there and tell everybody that they're the best, but can't provide any proof or show that they're the best. Whatever I did, I always went into it with like a blank space. Like, I didn't tell anyone about the skills I have. I didn't tell anyone about the person I am. I just went in there and told them that I want to show what I can do. And if I can't prove myself, then they can kick me out. And then I won't be mad. I won't care about it, because then it's my fault. It's not their fault. But if I put everything on the table, explain that I'm so amazing, and then I fail, that's much more embarrassing than just proving myself in the space that I know I'm good at. Best example of that is when I first wanted to get into my first 9 to 5. I had bad grades, I dropped out of school, so I was nowhere near getting that job because the pay was way too high for my grades. And I went in there, I still did the whole process. I got into like the meeting with 5 other candidates, and they still picked me as their first pick. Why? Because I was in there and they actually asked me about my grades in math, in German, in English, and I told them, okay, they're shit. I can tell you that. I don't know what happened. But what I can tell you is I'm not good at just following an old system, because if I would be good at just following old strategies, old systems, I would turn old and be the same as everybody else. But I don't want to be the same. I want to be the person that creates innovation, that creates motivation, the person that finds the mistake, the little hidden features that no one has ever thought about. And I can't be that person if I listen to a system that is based on working in the past. You can't get something to work in the future if you're stuck doing something that worked in the past. And you'll have to remember that, because that's the same thing for every situation in life. You can't fix something in the future by doing the same thing you've always done in the past. You can't fix a relationship to be better in the future if you go ahead and do the same thing you did with your ex-partner. You can't fix broken engine of a car if you just try to change the oil again. You can't just repeat the same process and hope for different results. That's not how it works. That's why you have to be the person to take the leap and not want anything for it, but just go in there and do your best. And as soon as you do that, people are going to recognize that you're the best at what you do without telling them. So there I was, my first project as a sales manager, not just a sales rep. And I was a bit nervous, but it wasn't like a negatively nervous. I wasn't scared to fail. I was rather nervous because of the possibilities that opened up in my mind. I just knew I could make not just $10,000, I could make 100,000, I could make 500,000 if I performed well enough. And going after that delusion that I would make so much money in a month, we hit a mark that I would have never believed to be possible if I wasn't as delusional as I was in that situation, and still am. Because in just a short range of like 4 to 5 months, we beat the million mark of collecting cash. And that's something for a new project, for people that are in sales. Most of you know how hard that is. And we had no big sales team, no ads. It was all organic. So you had organic leads, one setter, one appointment setter, one closer, and that was it. And you can count up how much that takes if you have like 8 to 10 hours of working days and a front offer high ticket that's like 4 to 7K. Imagine the range that you have to put in, the work that you have to put in daily to make something that is completely new, so big, so quickly. And that only worked because that delusion kept me going every single day. And from there on, my first testimonial was born. So I could go ahead into new projects and just show off what I already made, show off what I already succeeded in, and show them the proof that I know what I'm talking about. And that's how everything grew on me, how new sales teams came in, how sales reps wanted to learn from me, how other people that just started completely at zero wanted to understand how I do what I do. And that's the story of how I became a sales manager and then a businessman. It doesn't just happen overnight that you're a sales rep and like this, you're a businessman. That will never happen. You'll have to go through a process of pain, of confusion, of suffering to properly understand the things that you have to suffer to be successful. Because without suffering, without just sacrificing 99% of the things that you thought were luxury, you will never be successful. Gaming 8 hours a day is not luxury. Eating junk food, just drinking alcohol, going out to parties, that's not luxury. That's stuff that you will have to sacrifice to become successful. And if you can sacrifice those things, then the success is not made for you, because success won't wait. You're the person that has to change now, or the success will just keep on going to other people. And if you don't want to be the person that just watches other people succeed and just fills up with greed every single day, thinking about tomorrow I'm going to start, I'm going to be successful, I'm going to change my life tomorrow, I swear I'm going to do it tomorrow, next week, next month, next year, you will never be the person to actually reach success. Of course, there's more stuff to my story, there's more background, there's more details to it, but everything that I tell you will maybe give you the motivation kick, or that situation of euphoria where you just sit in your bed and you think about the possibilities, how your life can change. But with me talking about it every single time, with me talking about it for multiple hours, it still doesn't change your situation. You'll have to change it yourself. I can just motivate you with the knowledge I have, with the memories I made and the legacy I've built, but I won't be able to change your situation for you. You will have to change it now, and it's not waiting for you. Because the one thing that actually changed my life with everything that happened is the factor that I just started. It was not the fact of being lucky, it's not the fact of being motivated, and neither was it the fact of being rich or successful before I even started. The fact was that I started, that I just did something. And I didn't just talk about it, I didn't just do theoretical stuff, I didn't just write down into my book that I want to be successful one day, or just started manifesting it, I actually started doing something. And all the other things, they started to come in themselves. I didn't even need, and everything else just got attracted to the success. It just got attracted to the energy that I put out. And that's something you will notice in life. The more energy you put into something, the more power, the more money, the more time, the more energy the universe gives back to you. Because if you're the person putting in so much energy into something to make it work, to make it run, then the universe will help you and give you that energy back in multiple ways. And that's how the success works. The success isn't measured by the money that you make. The success is measured by the energy you get back from the energy you put in. And that leverage of energy that you get will always be a 10x of what you had. And that's how you start scaling. That's how you start being a businessman. That's how you start being a business owner and becoming successful. Not by waiting around for the right moment. And that's on my story, how I became a millionaire at 21 years old.